Red number 3 came into the year with a little chip on his shoulder. He lost the championship last year by just 1 point. Expectations were kind of high. He was very good in 2017, and a few years earlier, he won the longest sand rally race ever at a whopping 750 feet. Even though he was expected to do great, Red number 3 did an amazing job at never putting pressure on himself. He always seemed so confident no matter the standings. His famous saying is, quote, "I'll always do my best. You'll never see me not give 100%. And this was true for every single race. Today, we talk about Red number 3's first championship win. Now, despite how great Red number 3 was this year, many don't realize where he started out. In the first race of the year, Red number 3 started in the far right corner. Usually, the start doesn't determine your finishing position. There's just so much that could go on during the race. But Red number 3 would face a disaster like no other. And by no other, I literally mean no other, as he was the only marble to not finish the race.
3 more points. Odd Red number 3 got stranded up there. Maybe hit that attenuator in the middle of
It was very heartbreaking. It meant he started dead last in the competition. It's definitely not the way he intended on starting the year. Although there is no footage on what happened, a reporter on the scene managed to catch exactly what happened. His claims aren't confirmed, so take this with a grain of salt. But in his article, he mentioned how he completely missed the pole that was meant to guide the marbles to the paths. And we're talking about this pole right here. No matter how it happened though, the result was still a DNF. But everyone knows great champions can overcome any obstacle. In a full season of SMR, there are 8 races, so you don't want to get too far behind in the beginning. It's something you can afford in the Marble League, but not in the Sand Marble Rally. And Red number 3 knew this fact, and he would make a big bounce back in the second race. This time, he got a way better start, because he was in the front of the pack. He jumped out into the top 5, and almost never left. But unlike some of his later races, this one needed a little bit more luck than skill for Red number 3. This was shown the most in this one large curve. As Red number 3 was coming down, he was slowing down a lot, almost to a complete stop. But then came Slimer, who gave Red number 3 a big bump, and this bump pushed him into a 3 marble fight in the top 5. Eventually, they would stretch out, and some more luck came into play. He once again missed the pole, but he managed to escape and avoided another DNF. Then some bad luck came. As he came down the stretch, he bumped against the walls, giving Slimer the perfect opportunity to jump out in front. And it kept Red number 3 just out of the top 5 as he placed 6th. This propelled him to 14th place, just 19 points out of first place. And he would close the gap even further in the next race, as he remained in the top 5 the entire race, and eventually climbed up to 2nd, which is where he finished, barely behind Marvelly McMarble.
As I say that, loses out a little bit. Red number 3 making a charge, can't quite do it. A block down on the low side as they slow down quite a bit. He's got chance for maybe one more try here down at the end. He's going to look to the right. Now comes back, drafting across the line. Can't do it, but Red number 3 finishes in 2nd place, holding off Big Pearl by just a couple of tenths.
This launched him into the top 5, as he now sat in 4th, just 2 points away from the top spot. Race 4 would be one of Red number 3's greatest efforts, so let's set the stage. Red number 3 is starting in the back row again. and last time he started in the back row, he didn't really race well. But if red number 3 wants to remain in championship contention, he needed to have a different result than race 1. Now his start didn't seem to have been good. This was a fast course, so it was very hard to see any marble that wasn't in the top 6. In the beginning, he started back of the pack, but he slowly made his climb.
Super Bowl trying to get a little bit of consistency. Oh, and we have some divergence here. A couple of marbles go high.
Eventually, red number 3 made it all the way to 7th. He passed 2 marbles in a row to enter the top 5.
Super Bowl, a new entrant into this year's Sand Marble Rally, and is trying to make the most of it.
And then he gets a great nudge from Comet that propels him to 2nd. Sadly, he was not able to catch Super Bowl, but his 2nd consecutive silver drove him right to 2nd in the standings, 4 points behind Super Bowl. But something strange happened in the next race. He started in the corner again, and last time he started there, he got dead last. And, well, this wasn't much better. A positive is that he avoided a DNF, but he only scored 3 points. And like this article says, the corner striked again. If there were any rivals to red number 3, it'd be that corner. Now the good news was that he was still in 2nd. Super Bowl did increase his lead though to 11, but this didn't faze the legend. He was determined to get that title, and his performance down the stretch was absolutely legendary. Now I know we called this episode Pure Domination, and you're probably wondering where that's been. Well, great people, it's time we take a look at the final 3 events of the year. With Super Bowl up by 11, red number 3 needed to get a move on, and by the looks of the last race, some actually doubted him, but he would prove these doubters wrong. After starting in the top row, he immediately jumped out in front, and his race was the most dominant one thus far in his career.
Fans should be happy about this one. Down toward the bottom. Is anybody going to be able to catch up to Black Knight for 2nd place? Red number 3 should be crossing the line by now. And there he goes. Red number 3, look at this margin of victory. Huge over Black Knight, nearly 5.
Almost a 5-second lead on Black Knight. For reference, all these teams were within 5 seconds of each other, while only Black Knight was barely under 5 seconds away from red number 3. It was insane. This type of dominance had not been seen before in SMR. He pretty much doubled the old largest margin of victory record. And with this gold, he grabbed 1st overall by 11 points. Red number 3 attempted to explain why he thought his race was so dominant, saying, quote, "The main reason was my start. Definitely the start. I managed to avoid any collisions towards the beginning, and I cruised through the course. Keeping it clean off the walls also helped." Everything he said was true. The start was very smooth, and he was able to extend his lead early on. Now on to race 7, another amazing race from red number 3, as he started in the front row once again. He actually got off to a pretty rough start. He's more built for speed rather than these giant walls. And it showed. He was quickly placed in the bottom half, but this straightaway would play right to red number 3's skill set. And after going up the wall, he perfectly came down and was running in 5th. He leapfrogged over 2 more marbles to make the top 3. After some fight with Super Bowl, the marble currently in 2nd in the standings, red number 3 won the bronze medal, another victory where he started down low but came out on top, or in this case, nearly on top. But Super Bowl finished in front of him, meaning the lead was only 8 going into the final race. There was a lot of concern with how close the deficit was. There had only been one time in history where the team leading the standings going into the final event actually won it all, and that was Ghost Plasma back in 2016. But in 3 other Marble Leagues and 1 other Sand Marble Rally, it had not been done. 3 marbles were able to win it all, but the one on top would go on to remain on top, as red number 3 won the silver medal to win the Sand Marble Rally.
Lollipop, Summer Sky, Big Pearl back there. Finish line, cross it. Red number 3 comes in second, but that is enough. Red number 3, the champion of the 2018 Sand Marble Rally. And what a way to close the season. A dominant race. 2 races ago set him up perfectly, and this time 18 points is enough to give red number 3 the top spot on the overall podium. He'll stand second for this particular event. I don't think he minds that at all.
And he certainly did not, Greg. Red number 3 had done it. He lost out by 1 point just a year ago, but this time he would win it all. That 22-point lead between Phoenix and red number 3 remains as the largest deficit between first and second place. He podiumed in 5 out of 8 races, and he did something very rare. He kept his lead. It truly was an amazing year for red number 3, and next year he had a chance to go back to back. Thanks for watching, guys, and as always, like and subscribe if you enjoyed. Bye-bye.